So, there have been changes to multiple classes in the Elder Scrolls Online with Update 30. Not too many earth-shattering changes that are typical of the chapter patch changes. Compared to Morrowind, Somerset, Elsewhere, and even Greymore, this patch's meta shakeup isn't like completely over the top, and but there are still some notable changes that will have significant impact to an extent in both PvP and PvE. Amongst those changes is going to be the changes to the Templar class. And what was changed about Templar class abilities in particular? Well, the first change was that these Nova and both of its morphs, such as Solar Disturbance, have been updated. So Solar Prison now applies 14% more damage, I believe. Solar Disturbance, the cost of the ultimate has been scaled down, so it's much cheaper than Solar Prison. Both morphs and the base skill has been changed to apply the major maim, damage, and the synergy effect and damage and stun to be uncapped. So let's say you put Solar Disturbance or whatever, or Nova, on 50 ads or 50 people. It will affect all of them. The damage itself hasn't really gone up. I see a lot of people talking about rotating Novas now for Templar DPS, and I don't think that's actually going to be a thing. However, this is one example of the change. Solar Disturbance, much cheaper ultimate cost than Solar Prison or the morph, or the base skill morph. You still get the major maim for 12 seconds, which is quite a lot. You also get the damage over time effect, and you also provide the Supernova synergy to one person, which stuns and damages more enemies in the area further. And there have been some fixes in regards to range of the synergy and also the actual area of effect. So that's the first change that came out with the Templar toolkit. The second change I want to talk about is in regards to ritual, or extended ritual retribution, doesn't matter. And the biggest change here is that the synergy that you needed to, the Purify synergy, right now, pre-Blackwood, you need to have a debuff or a dot on you in order to see the synergy and activate it. Post-Blackwood, you don't need to have a dot or negative effect on your character to synergize with the Purify synergy. So you can use this synergy at any time. I mean, normally for tanks, this would be great news, because sometimes you couldn't control when you would get debuffed by a boss. I think probably the most notable is Asylum Sanctorium. I mean, you could probably step into Olms's exhausted breath, right, in Asylum Sanctorium to intentionally get the Purify synergy. Well, you don't have to do something like that anymore. However, at the same time, I think this could cause some concern for DPS mashing the synergy button in strategies like burning the boss one in VHOF, where they may not use a Purify synergy at a good time. So more purging might be needed from a healer. So that's one both positive and negative aspect of the change to ritual. The next change to the Templar toolkit is going to be Luminous Shards. Luminous Shards, instead of half-assingly giving you some stats for your off stat, or not your primary resource, now gives full resources to whoever synergizes the Luminous Shard synergy. The Blazing Spear Shard synergy it does not have this effect. The next change I want to talk about is Living Dark. And Living Dark was updated to scale off of either your spell damage or max health, whichever is higher. And I believe the devs noted that this allows for players to build for the skill in a defensive or offensive manner. This is a tooltip on a Templar PvE tank. 2.7k health every time you get a direct damage on you. So not too bad, but I'm going to talk about the next skill. And this next skill, I think, is a big reason why so many people are saying, oh, Templar tank is good. and that's going to be the channel focus or restoring focus, morphs of rune focus. And I'm going to read this tooltip because, oh, not read the tooltip, but explain what exactly changed. Instead of giving you extra resistances for standing inside the rune, you not only get the major resolve, which increases your physical and spell resistances, and depending on your morph you get 242 stam or magicka back every second, but standing now within the rune heals you every 1 second, and this heal scales off of your max health. And this is a really big deal for Templar tanking, because Templar tanks in PvE, as opposed to their Sorcerer, Dragon Knight, Nightblade, Necromancer, and Warden counterparts, never had a health-based heal. So oftentimes you would, see most Templar tanks slot Resolving Vigor as their primary heal. Breath of Life or something like that wouldn't really be effective because he scaled off of your spell damage and max magicka. So you would often see Templar tanks go with Resolving Vigor, but instead you can combine Resolving Vigor now with Restoring Focus. And just to show you guys some another tooltip increase here, you can go up further. I'm pretty sure I've gotten this tooltip to 3k every 1 second, which is pretty strong. I mean, for the cost of 672 stamina, getting 3000 health every 1 second, that's pretty poggers. But also, you still get the major resolve, and you don't necessarily have to stand in the rune to get the major resolve. And also, well, I guess, yeah, you don't have to. You still get that stamina. You don't have to be inside the rune to get the stamina recovery or the major resolve, as noted on the character sheet here. However, you do need to step back in to get that healing. So just to show an example here. This is just, I'm just mashing Blood Altar. This is just me standing in rune focus. And this is costing 3,847 health. I'm gonna step out of rune focus. Then I'm gonna come back in. This is just to show the comparison between standing in it and not standing in it. It just keeps going back up. And again, you can combine this with Vigor, right? Don't just be like, okay, well, I'm gonna just use Rune Focus and that's it. So you're stacking about 3.5k heal with about a 3,000 heal per second. That's a lot of healing. Yep, that's pretty good. But yeah, that is the primary reason why Templar tanking is going to be a bit more attractive for a lot of PvE tanks. This will obviously, some of these changes will definitely have an impact on PvP, like, you know, Solar Disturbance or even Solar Prison. The fact that the major maim, the damage, everything's uncapped. I mean, I would say that some boggers will have fun with it. In terms of Templar PvPers, they'll definitely love the change to Rune Focus. The healing is going to be noticeable, I would say. Yeah, I mean, the Living Dark as well. I think that's more for PvP as well. I don't really see this as attractive for a lot of PvE encounters, because it does rely on you getting directly damaged, which some bosses and trials don't really do too often. So you'd probably better off with a much more consistent heal every second for 20 seconds in conjunction with a burst heal over time every so often. But yeah, that's pretty much it. These are the changes coming for both PvE Templar and PvP Templar players. Let me know what you guys think.